could that have been a more textbook Bruins loss this year? I mean, like the whole thing, clockwork. As I wrote down, clockwork. Let's see. You get a tight, slim lead. You take it into the third period. Then in the third period, you absolutely get smoked. I think the Kraken had like the first 7 shots in the third period. I think they were leading in shots like 8-1 at one point. So you take a slight, tight, slim lead into the third period. You get smoked to open the third period. Then you lose a defensive zone faceoff. This time it was Trent Frederick. And you give up the tying goal. Then you have a bad clear coming out of your own zone. That was McAvoy. Leads to the go-ahead goal. Then you get to overtime. You don't score. You go to shootout where you watch David Pastrnak with another half-ass, lame-ass, nothing attempt right into the goalie's pads where it looks like he's not even really trying. You lose but get a point to stay near the top of the league standings to preserve the illusion of contention. Talk about a textbook Bruins night.
It's astonishing how they can repeat this over and over again. I'm not kidding.
No, it's
astonishing.
Groundhog Day.
Really, you would think that one of these games eventually they'll close it out in the third period. Like, well, tonight they'll close it out. No.
Nope.
It's the same script over and over and over again. And you know what bugged me about the Pastrnak move? Is that it's basically, he tried to do basically the same thing he did on the breakaway earlier in the game.
And that was also a half-ass attempt that went in. Maybe the puck was on edge because he was able to lift it a little bit more. But he didn't exactly put his head down and fire that one either.
No, but at least he was skating hard, right? He was skating hard, which to me is part of the problem in the shootout with him. He comes in like he's just out, he's just out for a casual skate in the park.
He's a stat humper. And that goal in regulation counts. The goal in the shootout doesn't count. So la-ti-da, we'll just tippy-toe our way down the ice. Doesn't matter if I score or not. It's not going on the sheet, eh?
It's unbelievable.
It's painful watching him in that thing. Get him off of that thing. His percentages aren't even that good. It's like 23% or something.
Mm-hmm.
Get him off of my TV screen in the shootout, would you please?
I mean, it blows me away that he goes in as lethargically as he does.
I mean, otherwise, he's the reason they were in that, he had all 3 goals. They took away 1, but it was his night to begin with. So, like, I'm not saying bench the guy, but can you get him off of my screen on the shootout, please? I'm sick of looking at that. I can't look at that anymore. I mean, I got to stay up till 1 a.m. to watch him lollygag down the ice and just flip it into the goalie's pads again.
His whole vibe is that he doesn't give a flying fish.
Because it doesn't count in the stats. And he is El Stat Humperoo. But here we are with the Bruins.
Did you mention in how this was clockwork the game tying goal early on from Allmark? How that he had a
oh my God!
You like that one?
So the bummer is, I thought he was really good last night, but that thing, I mean, credit him on the assist for Seattle. Like, what are you doing? What is that pass?
Is he trying to score?
He shot it right at him.
I mean, so like I'm being half sarcastic. The goalie was still in the net. It was in the second period, first period, whenever that was. He's trying to clear the puck, puts it right on his stick. Like, what are you doing?
How about just either the corner or the boards?
Meanwhile, Murray, you think the refs had a say in this thing?
A little bit. I'm usually not one to I don't want to go all Mike from Woburn on you, but the Morgan Geekie goal that they looked at for what felt like 20 effing minutes.
Another thing that, again, took up my time and contributes to my crankiness today.
Yeah, and so the contact was made when he had possession of the puck on the original shot, so it looked like legal contact. I'm not bitching about it too much. Just someone explain to me why they dialed it back. Like, I don't understand it.
I just think, Nesson, you just keep doing Nesson, man. I thought Jack and Brick were hysterical on this. I don't even know why they're reviewing it. The Bruins haven't had a power play all night. Is it Hextall's other coach? What's Hextall doing on this? This is easy. This is automatic. There's nothing here. And they're going on for 2 minutes about this thing like there's no chance.
Yeah, the more they were losing their minds
this was obvious. Well, the longer it went, it's like,
I was like, they're going to get boned.
Well, wait a minute. If it's so obvious, how come they haven't confirmed the goal yet? And now 2-3 minutes in, they're still going on. This is a no-brainer. There's nothing here. This one's obvious.
I just don't think after the fact it was explained that well because the tap-in was legal because the puck was in the crease. I don't know where the interference
the more
was.
I looked at it, I think that Geekie's stick moved Grubauer's pads out of the way. I thought it was the right call at the end of the day. At first, I didn't bother looking at it because stupid me, I was just listening to the Nesson commentators. Big mistake. It's like listening to Scal give you a ref an out. Like, what's the point of this? Like, I should have known better. that it wasn't as obvious as Jack and Brick were laying on. And so then after I looked at it, I'm like, oh, no, well, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it was part of one continuous motion, but his stick took Grubauer's pads and shoved it into the net.
I thought it was interference from the very beginning.
I mean, but why? So I'm just curious. What was Beersy saying on our call? Do you have that, Jimmy? I'm just curious. I'm just curious to get any closer to the truth here.
Left point, Frederick to Geekie, fakes, shoots, he scores! That's some hockey karma right there. Morgan Geekie takes a pass.
Wait a minute. Are they implying that he should never have been in the penalty box to begin with? Because so it all started.
No, there was a too many men on the ice thing that happened as this play was happening.
Yeah, that should have been called because they were going nuts about it on
they
NESN,
sure were.
Yeah.
Call it. Too many men. We get quit.
Playing pass. And then the Kraken fired out to center ice. The Bruins bench is up.
All right.
But because...
All right.
I took that out because it wasn't relevant to what you wanted.
I understand. I know the play you're talking about. Jack and Brick lost their panties too, soiled their shorts. I didn't think it was that blatant. But I know what you're talking about. Okay, so there's hockey karma. The Geekie trip. I mean, the dude laid out and blatantly tripped him. I'm glad they weren't talking about that. Anyway, hockey karma. Puck don't lie. Go ahead.
Good on Morgan Geekie. He's the guy that took the penalty, right? And now he comes back out. He just got out of the box. The Bruins, they should have had too many men on the ice. It was not called. And fortunately for the Bruins, it wasn't, because now Geekie's able to get a nice little short pass from Trent Frederick coming over the blue line. And Geekie walks in, goes backhand, forehand, and is able to slide this puck past Grubauer as he goes sliding into him. Unless they're going to call it goalie interference, which is a possibility. Well, if he slid into Grubauer before this puck goes in, I think they're going to challenge. 50-50 is goal on the ice.
Seattle is challenging the play to see if there was a goaltender cross prior to the goal.
Hey.
Don't like the fact that they're taking this long. It's got everybody's attention in Toronto. There's no other game going on right now.
Okay, you can stop. So
he said 50-50 there, so there was nothing like that.
A little closer to the bone. It was a close call. Jack, you should have heard Jack and Brick. Well, this is why are they even doing this? Handing the Bruins a power play? What are they even thinking? This is clear. This is a goal.
You know, that's what made me think. I'm like, maybe I'm wrong here, because the longer they were caterwauling about it, and the longer they were looking at the effing thing, I'm like, oh, they're going to get boned here. And they did. And then the boning really started to happen.
I mean, I didn't know the finer points of the rule, okay? But
Same.
to me, when he smashed into the initially, I went, oh, they're not going to allow this. They're not going to allow it. So when it went to review, I said the Bruins are boned.
Yeah, right.
No, well, I stupidly just listened to Jack and Brick. Lesson learned. Don't listen to the local broadcasters. Because but then when I say, okay, now they're taking this long, I'll look when they kept showing the replay. All right, let's take a closer look. Yeah, no, his stick shoved in Grubauer's pad before the puck went in. I thought it was the right call, at least close enough. Could have gone either way. But that's that's not what's important. What's important is that as soon as the opponent turns up the pressure on the Bruins,
Crack.
Oh my God, crack or crap
Or crack.
Both.
I mean, they crap out of their crack. Like, you read about it, it's like I've never seen a self-fulfilling prophecy like this. They've lost 9 games now after leading after 2 periods, the most in hockey, and they have like the best record in hockey.
So you were saying this yesterday again, how that stat is really the most meaningful one. Then they went out and did it again.
It's insane.
Really, again, it is astonishing to me the regularity with which they disintegrate. It's amazing.
So. Deadline a week from Friday. They should do something. I want them to do something. Does it really change the DNA of the team? And in some weird way, Mazz, does this set them up better for the playoffs than last year?
I know what you mean.
Where
expectations are lower and they might be able to sneak up on someone.
And again, I don't know how they're going to have low expectations when they just might have won the President's Trophy again. I mean, they're right there. They're a point or two from the best record in the league. So I don't know how low the expectations are going to be. I'm more talking about just, just getting hit in the honker over and over and over again. Eventually you figure it out, or you're just more battle-tested. You're more prepared for that situation when it really happens.
Or the other thing happens.
Or you just keep doing it over and over and over again. But all I'm saying is, like, last year they had such little adversity. I mean, it's true. It was such an epic season that when the Panthers challenged them, they weren't ready for it because they just hadn't faced it. This year, they're facing it over and over and over again. Does that, in some weird sort of hockey way, make them in a better spot to withstand it when it happens, when it really counts.
I mean, it can. The fact that it's happening over and over again certainly makes them aware to it or awakens them to it. So there's the capacity there for them to play better than they played. Like, that's a given.
There's definitely something to it. I just
close it out.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of these start going their way. You know, since the All-Star break, they've been outscored 6-14 in the third period. That's not including empty net goals against. Like, they just have been wretched in the third. They can't close these games.
So a big problem here. This is, I think, the loss of Bergeron showing up more now than ever with these defensive zone faceoffs. It's been a common denominator out west. It happened again last night. Preserving a 1-2 goal lead, third period defensive zone faceoff, lose a draw, puck in the net. Like, it's happened over and over. And it's, Zacha's been responsible. It was Frederick last night. They got to find a faceoff guy. I think they got to find a faceoff guy. Not even someone, not a big center, a top six center, just a guy who's good on faceoffs.
Aren't Coyle and Zacha decent?
Coyle's always been a 50-50 guy at best. I don't know what Zacha's history is.
He was better last night, Zacha was.
But
in the game, I mean.
It's killing them. The draws are killing them. They got to find a guy just to take faceoffs, if nothing else.